Have you ever noticed how people talk about business like it's always exciting, glamorous, or risky? The media celebrates the flashy startups, the overnight app sensations, the billion-dollar ideas. And most of the time, that's the story that keeps us awake at night, the story that convinces us to chase excitement instead of results. I've seen it too, early in my own career. The lure of the next big thing, the thrill of rapid growth, it's intoxicating. But here's the thing, most of those stories end quietly. They crash. They burn. And for every media darling, there are hundreds of entrepreneurs quietly building wealth far from the spotlight. My name is Williams, and over the last 14 years, I've watched ordinary people create extraordinary financial freedom, often through businesses that seem boring at first glance. Today, I want to show you 5 of these businesses and explain why their simplicity is exactly what makes them so successful. Most people think wealth starts with risk, brilliance, or a breakthrough product. That's the common belief, and it's precisely what keeps most people chasing the wrong things. Here's the contrarian insight. You don't need glamour to create $1 million business. In fact, the opposite is often true. Boring businesses, ones that meet predictable needs, solve everyday problems, and scale slowly but consistently create the highest success rates. The turning point for anyone who grasps this is realizing that predictability is not the enemy of growth, it's the engine. Take, for instance, the first type, essential services. Think commercial cleaning, pest control, or landscaping. At first, they seem unremarkable. Who dreams about starting a cleaning company? But the math is undeniable. A single disciplined team serving repeat clients can generate $10,000 a month within the first year. Expand to 5 teams, and you're approaching $50,000 in monthly revenue. Multiply that over a few years, reinvest wisely, and the path to 7 figures becomes almost inevitable. The invisible threshold is hitting consistent profitability without overextending yourself. Once you cross that line, momentum takes over. The second idea is specialized maintenance or repair. HVAC servicing, plumbing, appliance repair. Again, it's not sexy, but the market is constant. People will always need their air conditioners fixed, pipes unclogged, or appliances replaced. The psychological shift occurs when you realize that recurring demand reduces fear. You stop feeling like every month is a gamble, survival mode fades. You start thinking in terms of growth, in terms of scaling teams and standardizing processes rather than chasing excitement. The math is simple. A single technician generating $100 an hour, working 40 hours a week with modest expansion, produces 6-figure revenue in a year. The acceleration comes from replication, not from hype. Third, consider subscription-based businesses. Laundry services, specialized deliveries, or niche membership offerings. These are boring because they are predictable. But predictability is power. Every subscription creates a recurring cash flow that compounds, providing stability while freeing your mental bandwidth to innovate elsewhere. Here, the invisible threshold isn't just revenue, it's consistency. Once a business has predictable, monthly income covering costs and generating surplus, the entrepreneur's mindset transforms. Decisions stop being reactive. Opportunities can be explored selectively. Emergencies no longer feel like crises. The fourth type is reselling or distribution of essential products. Think industrial supplies, basic office equipment, or bulk materials. It's not glamorous, but it's high margin and high demand. The psychological transformation begins when you recognize that your role isn't about excitement, it's about control. Managing inventory, negotiating with suppliers, and serving repeat clients becomes a rhythm, not a stressor. Small, disciplined improvements compound over time. Revenue accelerates quietly, steadily. Your identity shifts from someone chasing trends to someone who creates systems that generate wealth reliably. The fifth business category is personal services, tutoring, accounting, bookkeeping, and elder care. They are predictable, stable, and often overlooked. At first, it seems limiting, almost mundane, But predictability is liberating. You know your clients, your cash flow, and the value you provide. The moment you realize that each client interaction contributes not just to income, but to leverage by referrals, reputation, and scalability, you cross the invisible threshold. Growth becomes inevitable. You stop thinking of money as scarce and start thinking of it as a tool. Here's where the identity shift becomes profound. Early on, fear dominates decisions. Every missed payment, every slow month, every unexpected expense triggers anxiety. You're living in survival mode. But once the systems are established, teams, subscriptions, repeat clients, your mental bandwidth returns, you can think strategically. Big decisions dominate. Expanding markets, improving operations, or exploring investment opportunities. Small expenditures, like daily luxuries, fade into insignificance. You're no longer reacting to scarcity, you're designing your financial life. The simple math behind this approach is compelling. A single boring business generating $50,000 annually, scaled to 5 markets or 5 teams, approaches $250,000. Compound that with reinvestment, a few additional streams in similar industries, and disciplined financial management, and reaching 7 figures becomes far more probable than chasing viral products or high-risk startups. This is acceleration, not luck. It's the cumulative effect of small, consistent actions amplified over time. Walking away money is another result. As these businesses stabilize, you gain leverage in every facet of life. You can negotiate better contracts, take calculated risks, or step back temporarily without fear. Your posture changes not because your ego inflates, but because your systems give you confidence. Emergencies stop being existential threats. They become manageable scenarios. Financial stress, once constant, becomes optional. Lifestyle decisions also transform naturally. You begin prioritizing investments that enhance the business or your future freedom rather than temporary pleasures. Cars, apartments, and vacations are evaluated not for instant gratification, but for opportunity cost. A $30,000 car might feel rewarding today, but could delay reaching the next growth milestone. Understanding trade-offs emotionally and intellectually becomes part of your decision-making framework. Each choice reinforces the system you've built. It's critical to treat milestones as foundations, not rewards. Reaching $100,000 in annual revenue or hitting $1 million valuation is a seed, not a finish line. Protect it, reinforce it, grow it. Lifestyle inflation, poor delegation, or impulsive decisions can undermine years of disciplined work. The key is framing success as a platform for compounding, not a prize to spend immediately. Over time, the transformation extends beyond finances. Your mindset evolves. Decisions become strategic rather than reactive. Emergencies are opportunities for testing systems, not crises. Mental bandwidth expands. Identity shifts from someone controlled by circumstance to someone in command of outcomes. This shift, quiet, powerful, and often unnoticed, creates long-term resilience. The lesson is simple yet profound. Boring businesses consistently generate millionaires because they rely on predictability, discipline, and systems rather than hype or luck. Essential services, repair, subscriptions, distribution, and personal services offer repeatable models that compound wealth quietly and reliably. Each decision, each client, each process improvement compounds over time. By starting today, focusing on consistency, and viewing milestones as foundations, you set in motion a system that transforms both finances and mindset. My name is Williams, and I can assure you, the path to consistent compounding wealth rarely looks glamorous. It looks steady, disciplined, and predictable. But for those willing to follow the quiet, boring path, the results are powerful, inevitable, and life-altering. 10 years from now, your future self will thank you not because you chased excitement, but because you built a foundation of control, clarity, and consistent growth. That is the hidden power of boring businesses. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next video.